Yo, what's up guys, it's Overlord469 and we just got another Prime Empire short on Tuesday titled Manhunt. This is the end of an arc starting with the Prime Empire short titled The Meaning of Victory and continuing into The Stowaway. I'll be going into the plot, what I thought about it, the pros and cons, and ultimately how I would rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. Enough said, let's get started. So we first catch up with Jay and Scott after their meeting at the end of The Stowaway. Jay is freaking out because he has no idea who the Red Visors are or where he is. Scott says that he can explain everything, but he warns that Red Visors could show up at any moment. Scott and Jay wear Red Visor helmets as disguises. I would assume these are from the same Red Visors that crashed their cars in the Stowaway. Jay sees an advertisement about the Speedway 5 billion and the Kitana, so he asks what that is. Scott, however, starts freaking out because he sees some Red Visors. These Red Visors are blocking the way where Scott wants to go. He tells Jay not to panic and to act normal. However, Jay feels offended by Scott's statement, saying that nothing in Prime Empire is normal. As they walk through the past, the real Red Visors consider Jay and Scott to be Red Visors, but they do not recognize them, so they ask who they are. Scott says he is Red 29, but then one of the Red Visors is all like, no, he is Red 29. Scott responds saying that he meant Red 27, and Jay says that they cannot recognize them and they were wearing weird outfits because they are actually undercover, like really undercover. Jay and Scott leave, but then the real Red 27 shows up, so the Red Visors realize that Jay and Scott were imposters. They get into a fight. Some peers watching the fight recognize Jay, so they start feeling really enthusiastic about him fighting the Red Visors. In the end, the victors of the fight are Jay and Scott. Scott asks where Jay learned to fight so well, and Jay responds, dance class, referring back to the first Prime Empire short, Let's Dance. The peers continue their praise for Jay as Jay and Scott leave. They go to where Jay thinks is an empty lot, saying that it'll be easy for the Red Visors to find them. However, Scott responds saying that they won't, revealing a hidden garage or warehouse. The short ends with some Red Visors debating about who is going to report to Unagami. So I think this Prime Empire short was just great. Not as good as the Stowaway, but still pretty good. I really am interested about the relationship between Jay and Scott and how it's going to progress in the series. Like I said before, Scott is an interesting character, and I'm intrigued to see how his secret hideout is going to play into the main plot. Like I said before, in the Stowaway review, the fight scenes are just so well choreographed. Don't forget the music, that's good too. Now, as for things that I didn't like, this is what I call a transition episode. It was just Jay and Scott trying to get somewhere, that's it. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's not a plotline you would go back to again and again. Also, I feel like the Red Visors were just so dumb. How did they not realize that Jay and Scott were disguised? I mean, it was pretty obvious. Also, Jay's response to Scott's question asking where he learned to fight so well, and he says, dance class? I understand it was supposed to be a joke and all, but what about his training like in all the 11 seasons before? What the heck, Jay? Then there's the peers, like they felt so childish just getting like, oh, it's Jay, oh, it's Jay. They felt super annoying. It was a great episode and all, but overall I would think I have to give it a 3. This short didn't impact me as much as the other shorts. Well, so far that we know at least. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Where did you learn to fight like that?
Dance class? That was Jay!
That was awesome!
This is your plan? An empty lot? They'll find us here!
No, they won't.
Whoa!
Come on!
We have lost the suspects. Report to Unagami. You report to Unagami.